Redstone. In this episode, I'm going to talk about redstone. And what about redstone? I need to make a redstone shop. No one on this server is currently selling redstone components. So that means there's a hole in the market that I need to fill. And also, let's be honest, nobody likes crafting redstone components. They're kind of a pain. But now before I actually make this redstone shop, I first have to make all the farms to support it. So that's what I'm doing this episode. I'm going to make a ton of farms and a redstone shop. So the first thing I need to do is decide what I'm going to sell in my shop. So I was thinking redstone blocks and redstone torches, repeaters and comparators, redstone lamps, target blocks, everyone's favorite, the hopper, droppers, dispensers, observers, and last but not least, pistons and sticky pistons. Those are the, let's see, 12, I believe, 12 components that I think I'm going to sell in my redstone shop. So now let's talk about the materials that I'm going to need to actually make all of these components. The first thing I'm going to need is redstone. Obviously, redstone dust. And of course, to make the next few components, I'm also going to need redstone torches, which require sticks. So that moves us on to the repeaters. So to make those, we're going to need those ingredients plus stone. Yep, not cobblestone, stone. And to make the comparator, it's pretty much all of those ingredients plus quartz. All right, so that's already 4 different ingredients that we're going to have to farm. So these next 2 require a couple unique ingredients, like the redstone lamp requires glowstone, and the target block requires wheat. So then we get to the hopper. So the hopper isn't going to use anything that we've had to farm up to this point. The hopper is going to need both iron and some kind of wooden planks to craft chests out of. So now that moves us over to the old droppers and dispensers. So the droppers, unfortunately, the droppers don't use stone. The droppers, of course, require cobblestone. Because of course they do. Why would anything be consistent? Now the dispenser, oh dispenser. The one component that absolutely nobody likes crafting. So dispensers require a bow. But now I'm already going to have to farm sticks for the torches. So I could get away with only farming string to make this happen. So I've got a couple options there. Oh, hello, Rain. Now we come over to the observer, and as far as everything we've already had to start farming, the observer doesn't need anything unique. It already has everything done here. The pistons as well. We've already got the planks and the cobblestone and everything. But the sticky pistons, they are going to require, of course, the good old slime ball. So these are all the materials I have to farm to make these 12 components to stock up my shop. Now, one thing I was thinking with these planks, and you might notice that's not an oak plank, that's a bamboo plank. Yeah, so I was actually thinking about using bamboo planks for everything that requires wooden planks here, because I feel like farming bamboo is just going to be easier than farming trees. Bamboo can be farmed totally hands-off, whereas trees cannot, and I'm really just going to need them for chests for the hoppers and then planks for the pistons. So I'm pretty sure we'll get plenty if we harvest bamboo. So I need to figure out how to farm all of these things. Well, you're probably wondering why I'm standing here next to a broken down house this whole time. And that's because I'm standing here in this abandoned village that I found next to that swamp early in the season. And of course, whenever I did that, I made this witch farm over here, which is a passive witch farm. I just AFK and it generates materials. And then of course over here, I have my active witch farm, which I have to sit up in the tower and I kill the witches as they come to me. Now those witch farms are going to take care of the redstone, the sticks, and the glowstone. So all of those are totally covered with that farm. The next hurdle is the iron. Yep, I'm gonna need to make an iron farm. There are some folks selling iron on the server, but the amount I'm gonna need, I think I'm gonna have to farm it myself. But luckily, when we first found this village, we also found this guy. So all I need to do is cure him and find him a mate. Now I have spent many nights out in this swamp trying to find me another zombie villager, and I have had no luck at all. So instead, I went and found a regular villager and boated him all the way over here. And he is right there. There he is. Hey, there you are. So all I need to do is cure this guy and then get those two together and hope they like each other. And then I'm going to have villagers to make me an iron farm. Hi there, this is Editing Room Oda. And at this point in the video, I blathered on for about 20 minutes about all the different farms I was going to need to build. But I realized that was all redundant because I'm going to talk about them as I make them anyway. But after all of that talking, I decided the first farm I was going to go for was the iron farm. And of course, that would require the villager breeder. So I went ahead and built the villager breeder and then recorded this next clip. Well, my first step to the iron farm is complete, and this is my villager breeder. So I cured the guy that was in the house, brought them both over here, and they have already made a child, which is awesome. So good job, fellas. Now, I built it here in the swamp because I would really like them to make swamp villagers. And the way that works, whenever they create a new villager, it can either be a villager of the biome of the parents, or one of the parents, or it could be the biome that they're in. So this first child that they made is still a plains villager. It is not a swamp villager. Ultimately, what I would like is for this farm to produce only swamp villagers. Well, number one, swamp villagers just look really cool. But also, if we ever do upgrade to one of the newer versions of Minecraft, the different biome villagers do have different trades, and I would love to have swamp villagers available for that, just in case. So as they're producing offspring, the offspring can be either plains villagers or swamp villagers. So my plan is, once I get 2 swamp villager babies, I'm gonna bring them up here into this part of the farm, and we'll just say replace these 2 with the swamp villagers. And then at that point, we should get 100% swamp villagers out of this farm. So I'm gonna hang out here and wait for that to happen. Then I'm gonna build an iron farm. And there's my iron farm. Yeah, that's my iron farm. I think that came out really, really well. Let me pop into free cam and give you a higher view of it. So that's a pretty standard iron farm. It's the kind where the villagers and the zombie are in a chamber kind of right in here, and the golem spawns up above them and burns, and then the iron is collected in some hoppers and then taken down into some chests. So this design is by Shulkercraft, and of course I'll link that in the video description. And of course that design is just the iron farm itself, but this tower was all mine. And I think that came out really nice. I figure we have a whole lot of endstone now mined up in this server, so might as well start putting it to use. And you know, endstone isn't something I've really used much as a building block, but I think this actually works. I like the color combination with the warped wood, and then of course the black stone and deep slate coming in here. I think that looks really nice. I sprinkled in a little bit of texturing with a few regular endstone blocks and even a couple of sandstone, and I know the color's a little off, but it's a close enough match just to have a few pieces here and there. It just shows like might be a little deterioration or something going on here. And as far as how well this iron farm works, well, this is overnight AFKing, and I pretty much filled up an entire double chest. So I think this is going to produce all the iron I'm going to need to craft up some hoppers to sell. This farm is only going to be active when I'm out here at the witch farm AFKing. And I wasn't sure when I built it how much it would produce and how much I would need. So I went a little overboard and built 4 of them. Yeah, I built 4 of them, and now I'm making so much iron that I don't think I'm ever going to need to worry about iron on this server ever again. And here's just a really quick overhead view. Alright, so the witch farm takes care of the redstone and the sticks and the glowstone, and now we've got the iron taken care of. So that leaves us with several more farms that I need to make, and I think the next one I'm going to make is the wheat farm. This should be a pretty easy one to knock out, so let me go ahead and do that right now. Alright, well the wheat farm is now done. This is basically your standard semi-automatic wheat farm where the harvesting is automatically done by streams of water, but then the gathering and the reseeding is going to have to be done by hand. If I've done the math correctly, a full harvest of this farm should give me about 2 stacks of hay bales, which would translate into 2 stacks of target blocks. Now, as far as a collection system, I played around with the idea of having hoppers, like hoppers to catch all of the wheat and seeds and funnel it down to a chest, but hoppers are just too darn slow. So I went even lower tech, and basically all of the wheat and seeds are just going to flush down into this little trough, and basically I put the side of the trough with just trapdoors so I can just run down the side and just collect it myself. And as long as my inventory is relatively clean, I should be able to pick up most everything from each side, probably in one pass, I'm hoping. So basically what I figured is I'll run down one side and collect as much wheat and seeds as I can, probably dump all the seeds in the composter, run back, try to put as much of the wheat as I can into this chest right here, and then collect as many seeds as I'm gonna need to finish replanting. And then of course, once I'm done with that, I can come back over here, and I got a hidden crafting table here where I can go ahead and make all the hay bales. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple stuff. All right, y'all want to see this wheat harvest? This is gonna be pretty cool. In 3, 2, 1, harvest. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's so cool. Okay, so you can see everything is sitting down in these troughs. Let me turn the water off and let that recede. Okay, great. So everything harvested, and you can see everything is sitting in this trough. So let's see how much I can collect out of this. So I just come down here and just run down. Okay, I couldn't even fit one. Okay, this is going to take several passes. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, so that should be everything. And let me go ahead and craft up the last of these hay bales. And let's see. There we go. 2 stacks of hay bales and just a little bit extra. Absolutely perfect. All right, so let's check up on our farm list here. That takes care of wheat. All right. Now, what's left? We got quite a few left. I think this is the one I'm going to tackle next. So once again, I'm going to need a bunch of planks here to make chests for the hoppers and also planks to help make the pistons. And I'm thinking the best hands-free way to make wooden planks is using a bamboo farm. But whenever we do the math on this, we say, okay, it's 9 bamboo to make a bamboo block. And then out of one of those blocks, I think you only get 2 planks instead of the normal 4 of a regular log. Unless I'm mistaken. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 planks per 9 bamboo. So if we do some simple math on that, we say 9 bamboo is 2 planks. I need 8 just to make a single hopper. So I need over half a stack of bamboo just for one single hopper. That's a lot of bamboo. No, really, that's like a ton of bamboo. All right, so my next project is to make a bamboo farm. Let's go. Alrighty, the bamboo farm is done, and it looks really small from up here. There it is, nestled right behind my wheat farm, and why don't we go down and take a closer look at it. Here we go. This is one of the bamboo farms that uses the flying machine sweeper arm to harvest it. And this is actually my first time ever doing a farm of this nature. I've never made one of these sweeper arms, and if you're not familiar with it, basically you have some sticky pistons and some observers that make like a flying machine that goes back and forth. And from that, there's this arm of slime blocks going across, and they kind of go along with it, and they break all of the things that it encounters on the way. Yeah, this is a really nice, simple, slick design, and this actually came from our very own CubeProspector. Right here on CraftWorks, he has some tutorials, and one of his tutorials was this flying machine sweeper arm, and you can see it just launched right there. And his tutorial is really nice and easy to follow. It's a nice short 5-minute tutorial, really explains how the thing works, and it's easy to understand, and I was able to build this in one try, one go, and it worked perfectly. So I will link that tutorial down in the video description if you want to build one of these yourself. So one thing is, this is a pretty big field of bamboo. And if I let it grow too high and then harvest it, the amount of entities that this thing just throws into the world is huge. And on a server with other people, that's just not something you want to do very often because that could really lag out a server. So instead of having this run like once a day or something, I have it run every 2 minutes. So basically I built this is an Etho hopper clock, and if you've never heard of one of these, you can pretty much Google Etho hopper clock. And this is a very well-known and well-used hopper clock, and you can basically make it, I don't know, however long you want it to be. And essentially what this is you have a hopper full of stuff. In this case, I actually maxed it out. I have like 5 complete stacks of things in here. And they just drain from one hopper into the other. And once it fully drains, this block here will slide over, and then it'll start draining the other way. And then when it's done draining that way, it'll push it that way. But whenever it does slide over, it actually changes the state of this redstone and either turns it on or turns it off, which this observer sees, which sends a signal to the mechanism to launch the arm. Well, and there you go. It just did it right there. Let me talk real quick about the collection system. So I think you might have seen the minecarts all launch whenever this thing started. And the way I did this was a little bit, I was thinking at first whenever this triggered, it would just trigger the minecarts. But what happens, see, now they've already returned, but the arm is still knocking things down, right? On its way back, it's knocking some new growth plus any bamboos that landed on top of the actual little shafts. It's actually knocking those down too. And so I want this thing to run again whenever it comes back. So you're going to see them getting ready to launch again. And there they go. So now they're going to do another run and they're going to pick up everything and they're going to completely clean that whole field out of entities. And the way I did that is there's an observer right here. You can see the back end of it. And whenever this arm launches, the first thing it does is passes that observer and that hits that redstone there, runs down that line, and that triggers all of these minecarts to start. The minecarts go all the way up one end, they come down to here, they hit this block, they go back up, and they come back down. So they actually make 1, 2, 3, 4 passes underneath this entire field. And then again, whenever it comes back in, it launches them again, and then they do 1, 2, 3, 4 more passes again. So it really does clean up all of the entities out of this farm. And this whole place isn't lit up, and I really don't want to get shot by a skeleton, so let me sleep real quick. Okay, there was one more cool little thing I wanted to show you. So whenever this arm goes back and forth, in fact, let me fly to the other end so maybe we can see it in action. Oh, let's go see it in action. So whenever, oh, can I land here? Can I land here? Yes, okay. So whenever it comes through, you're going to see that it actually shoots a bunch of pieces forward. So I actually extended this out and made a wall, and you're going to see they're going to come out and they're going to hit this wall and just fall down here. And that way they're going to be able to be picked up by the minecarts on their way back. So watch this. Pew pew. There they go. See, now at first whenever I built this, I didn't build a blocker wall. I had the minecarts just stop underneath the actual farm itself. And it was just littering all of those entities all over the ground. And of course they just have to just sit there and despawn. And I didn't want that to happen. So now with this little wall right here, they just sit there. And then whenever the minecarts come back through, they're going to pick them all up. Just like that. And I kind of did the same thing on the front here. It was a little more difficult because of the, this is where all of the mechanisms are. But I basically built this wall, and that's why I have these little extra hoppers between the minecarts. So whenever the arm comes through this way, most of them get shot and hit this wall and fall into one of those hoppers. So I get very, very few. I mean, a couple might land down in here and not get picked up, but that is actually very few. So how good is this farm? Let's talk about that. I think this farm is actually a little too good. I know that I needed a ton of bamboo to make the chests and stuff for the hoppers. And you can see like each one of these mine carts is really picking up a lot of bamboo. This is a really effective farm. And already, like I only just built it yesterday and I haven't really been out here a whole lot. And already I have not just one, but almost 2 full chests of planks. So yeah, like I said, I think I might have made this a little too good. Maybe it's a little bit more than I really needed. But hey, better to have too much than not enough, right? So anyway, that's my bamboo farm, and I think this farm, along with the iron farm, means I'm going to be able to provide hoppers and pistons and stuff really, really cheap for everyone on the server. And I think everybody is going to be excited about that. Alrighty, so let's get back to our list of farms here. So that means planks are taken care of, and we did that with a bamboo farm. So let's just get all that out of the way. Man, we're really cranking through these things. Okay, what's next? What's next? I think the next one is gonna be cobblestone. Yeah, there are lots of really cool cobblestone farms that are on the internet. Some big, some small, but all quite effective. I found a really neat compact design on a Shulkercraft video, which I'll link in the description, and that makes the cobblestone. But of course, I also need stone, so I need to figure out a way around that. And I've got an idea for that too, so let's waste no time and get that thing built. And there it is. That is my stone farm. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, so this is the actual stone farm here. And again, I have a link to this design in the description. And I really like this design, so let me go ahead and turn it on and show you what it does. I'm just gonna hit this button and then get out of the way. There we go. So it's just gonna start dropping TNT right down here in the middle, and it's gonna blow up that cobblestone. Cobblestone right here is forming immediately as soon as this lava touches these wet leaves. And then the TNT blows it up pretty much as soon as it forms. Let me turn that off real quick so that you can actually hear me now. Yeah, so this thing actually works really, really well. Some pieces get lost, that's fine. But what I have here is all of these three sides feed into these chests. And I ran this thing for maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. And already I've got like a double chest of each column here, which is pretty awesome. And now this side right here, it just collects them and it's moving them over here into a smelter. This one is already, oops, didn't mean to do that. It's already almost full. So this is actually going to cause a little bit of a problem. I thought these hoppers would be enough of a back storage, but it's really not going to keep up. But anyway, so these feed over here into a smelter, and this is a pretty simple smelter. Actually, what it is 3 of these bamboo farms. So we just have one on each side, one here, and one on the other side. And then I have this network of hoppers underneath to funnel all of the bamboo that it's making into these 8 hoppers. In theory, this is a great idea, but in practice, I'm not really liking this, actually. And the reason why is the bamboo is generating quite slowly. Like, each of these isn't even quite full yet. And it generates it pretty slow. But on top of that, you need 4 bamboo per 1 item to smelt. And I need like a serious backlog of bamboo before I can really turn this on and start smelting this cobblestone into stone. So I'm just afraid that this is not going to be able to keep up. So I might change that, but until I do, check out the build. I think it actually looks pretty neat. I kind of have this little house type of thing that I built around it, and that kind of matches or kind of mimics the design on the iron tower. So I thought that was pretty cool. So now thinking about this, I kind of feel like I need that farm feeding this. So in hindsight, if I had planned this a little bit better, what I'm thinking is this farm right here should probably be here. This farm could be here, but running this way with this front side right about here. And then in front of this farm, I could have the stone farm. And what I could have is maybe 2 or 3 of these feeding the furnaces. So yeah, the lesson here is plan your builds, folks. You know, there's a saying in carpentry, measure twice, cut once. Something like that could apply here. Maybe if I'd have done a little bit of planning beforehand, these things would be synced up a little bit better. But I've got what I have right now, and I think it's going to work out just fine, because honestly, as much stone as I need to build the redstone components, I still have a bunch of stone over here. All of these double chests are full of cobblestone, and all of these chests are full of stone. And this is what I got just by clearing out these swamp areas. So in actuality, I probably do have enough stone to supply my redstone shop and to make everything that the server is going to need. But I do like the fact that I have a backup system here where I can easily generate those materials. So that takes us back over here. So that is going to take care of the cobblestone and the stone. So now we only have a couple left here. As far as the quartz, I'm not going to be able to make a farm for quartz. The only way to farm this type of quartz is through a piglin trading farm. So I would need a piglin trading farm and a gold farm, and the quartz is only one of the many things that comes out of that farm. And that's just not worth the effort just for the quartz. But also someone else on the server has already done that, and I don't want to just replicate the work that they've done. So I'm going to lift up the quartz here and say, I'm just going to mine for the quartz. And with a fortune pickaxe, I'll be able to get plenty of quartz just by mining it. So that leaves slime balls next. Okay, so slime, I'm going to use slime balls to make the sticky pistons. So I have a few options for that. First option is use someone else's farm. That's right, Zinkberg has already made a slime farm. Yeah, he has a pretty big slime farm down here. It's several chunks, like 1, 2, we got another 3, we got 1 or 2 over there. I think 1 on this side. All of these chunks spawn slimes, and all of them feed into these chests full of slime balls. And he even built a nice AFK spot for it all the way up in the top of this lighthouse. And the best part is, he said I could use it. So I could totally just use his slime farm to get the slimes I need for the sticky pistons. But you know, I'm kind of itching to build my own slime farm. So option 2 is build a slime farm here in my farming area. So I have this this first witch farm that I made over here, which is just AFK. It's just a passive farm, but I never use it. I always come over here and I use the active one, the one where I have to kill the witches. And of course, I've been building all of my other farms around this one, basically, assuming that if I'm AFK here with the witches, all these other farms will be running while I'm here. But there is a third option. I could build it here in this area and have it run while I'm farming the witches. I know, everyone is screaming at their monitor right now, don't do it, don't do it. If I were to build a slime farm here, that's gonna cut down the spawns of the witches. And then I'll be left with a lower efficiency witch farm and a slime farm that doesn't produce as much as it could. But you know what? I think I'm okay with that because my witch farm produces more than we can use anyway. And if I think about the amount of slime I'm going to need for sticky pistons to supply the server, I really don't need a hyper efficient slime farm for that either. So against my better judgment, I think I'm going to build a slime farm here so that whenever I am AFK at my witch farm, those guys will be just doing their little thing, making slime balls. All right, that's enough of me blathering on. Let me go ahead and build the slime farm. Okay, well I have finished the slime farm and there it is. Oh, I love this. I love this slime farm. This is so cool. Before I show it to you, though, you might notice that it's sitting right where the stone farm was. Yeah, I did a little readjusting here. Let me hop up to a better vantage point and let me show you what I did. Oh, stuck the landing. Nice. Okay, so the wheat farm was sitting right here, kind of in between these two iron farms, and I moved that over here to get it out of the way. And the bamboo farm was going this direction, and I basically tore it down and rotated it so it's now going this way with the front end here, and I moved the stone farm from there over here. This had 3 bamboo farms that were all feeding into the furnaces. Well, these 3 bamboo farms were just way too slow. They just were not providing enough bamboo at enough of a rate that I was happy with. So instead, I hooked it up to this farm. Well, this farm has 10 minecarts that collect bamboo, and really all we're using that bamboo for is the to make planks. So I took 2 of those minecarts and I redirected their output from, instead of filling up just bamboo chests, instead it redirects it out these hoppers and into here, into a little contraption here, which distributes the bamboo into 8 different hoppers here. And then each of those then feeds down into the furnaces. And since I made that change, this is producing way more bamboo than those 3 little farms were. So I'm definitely much happier with this setup. And that also cleared up a nice space over here for the new slime farm. So let's go check that out. So as far as the mechanics, this is a pretty normal slime farm. You can find these all over YouTube. I did get this one particular design from, oh gosh, I forget. I'll link it in the description. Just take a look down there if you want to find it. However, I did do some modifications. Some of the modifications were obviously to the aesthetics, but I also made an on-off switch for it. So I did have some doubts putting the slime farm out here with the witch farm. I mean, the whole reason why we spawn-proofed this entire area is so that nothing else was spawning, so that we could get more witches spawning in the farm. So just to see how this would impact the witch farm, I went ahead and turned this thing on, and then I went and I AFK'd up in the witch farm while I ran out and did some grocery shopping. Well, let me show you the result of that. Yeah, I think the slime farm works. And I did take a look for a while. I kind of sat here for a few minutes watching the witch spawn rate. And really, they were spawning at about the same rate they normally do. And if the rate was any lower than normal, it really wasn't noticeable to me. I was still getting plenty of witches coming up there and getting plenty of drops from them. So I think my fears about the slime farm wrecking the witch farm, or vice versa, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think both of them are going to operate just fine. together. And again, now I made an off switch for the slime farm, so if I really think it's going to be a problem, I could always turn it off. So now let me give you a nice view of the actual build itself. So this, I really like the way this came out. I'm kind of falling into a bit of a block palette and a design pattern here with these builds. And I kind of carried a lot of that over into this, but I still made it its own unique thing. This kind of roof part here mimics this. Some of it is it's identical up to about there, but after that it's just kind of similar. And I think that came out really nice. I think it's a really attractive build. And yeah, I think this really came out good. I like this a lot. Okay, well the farming area here is getting pretty full and we're closing in on everything we need to make my redstone shop. So let's take a look at what's left here. So these were all the components we wanted to sell, and now we have the slime taken care of, so we can remove that. And that leaves us with bows. The only farm left that we need to make is bows. So we need bows to make these dispensers. And we can either farm bows from like a skeleton spawner, or we can farm string because we get a ton of sticks from that witch farm. And if we got string, we could go ahead and just craft the bows that we needed. Well, I found something that's going to help us with this, and it's really cool. I'm pretty excited about this. I think you're going to be too. So I found something down here below the witch farm that's going to help us, and it is down this drop chute here. Whew, I always get nervous falling down those. And there it is. I found a spider spawner down here right below our witch farm, and you can see on my mini map in the top corner where this is located. Yeah, and this is just a normal spider dungeon. This isn't a cave spiders. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that'll provide us plenty of string to craft bows out of. But wait, there's more. So not only did I find this spider farm right here, I also found this skeleton spawner. Yeah, look how close these things are. Spiders and skeletons. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So I can sit here and have the spiders just dying and gathering string to craft bows with, all while I am killing skeletons over here to get the bow drops plus bone meal and levels and everything else you get with that. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. But wait, there's more. So I have the skeleton spawner here, and I have the spider spawner here. We also have a zombie spawner. Look at this. Look how close these things are. Zombies, spiders, skeletons. And they're all active. They're all so incredibly close. I think their actual spawn areas are going to intersect with each other. This is nuts. This right here is a Minecrafter's dream. This does not happen often at all. I mean, it's rare enough to get double spawners that are close enough that you can make a farm out of them, but to get triple of all 3 dungeon types this close to each other? My head is going to explode from this. This is just nuts. This is insane. And while I have no use for those zombies, like I can't not make a triple farm here. I have to do it. I have to do it. This is nuts. This is just some insane luck. This is insane luck for, first of all, for these things to spawn like this, but then to actually find it here in the world is just, those odds are astronomical. They really are. But there's more. There's more. There's more. So we've got the skeletons, we've got the spiders, we've got the zombies. We also have more skeletons. Look at this. Yes. It's a quad spawner. Skeletons, skeletons, zombies, spiders. I seriously think I just hit the Minecraft jackpot. I think I did. Like this doesn't happen. This does not happen. Like, please, someone point to an instance where you've seen this happen to someone. This is insane. I don't know what to think about this. This is just nuts. This is nuts. This doesn't happen. So as far as our farms are concerned, again, I don't really need the zombies for anything, but I got 2 skeleton spawners, which is going to be twice as many bows and bone meal and everything coming at me. Plus I got the spiders that are going to be over here dying and providing even more strings. This is just, I mean, I could not have wished for anything more than this. This is just bonkers. It totally, I mean, my brain is like, I can't even come up with words for this. Oh my God. Okay. I could sit here for 20 minutes and just rack my brain over how the heck this was possible. But I think that's enough blathering on about it. I need to figure out a design to make all of these work together. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of work ahead of me to figure this out. So let me go ahead and get on that now. I can't believe this. Okay, well, the quad spawner farm is complete. Once I had the area carved out, it was actually easier than I thought it would be. So let's go take a look. That was weird. Okay. All right, so here we are. I'm down here with the spawners, and there they are. I know it looks like a little bit of a mess. But, yeah, this is pretty cool. So we've got the skeletons right here and the other skeletons right there. We've got the zombies up here and the spiders down here. And, let's see. The skeletons and the zombies all get thrown up through these water elevator tubes. And then they all converge at the top there to come down to a kill chamber, which is right here. So basically, this is where I'll stand whenever all of the spawners are active, and I'll just sit here swinging away at all of the skeletons and zombies. Now the spiders, that was a little bit of a different story. Number one, there was just really no way to transport them with water up here to the kill chamber, but also, there's bedrock right there. So the floor of the spawner is basically this level, and I only have one extra level until there's bedrock, so my options were limited as far as what I could do with this kill mechanism. So I think I found a pretty good solution to it. And let me break this glass. For whatever reason, sodium has trouble rendering water through glass. Let me hop in here. So basically, once I had this thing boxed out, on the floor, I just made the middle of the floor magma and put a water in each corner, and this works beautifully. I have not had one spider try to climb the glass. They all hit the water and immediately go towards the center. So this is really, really effective and super simple. I didn't have to make like a pit or a drop or anything weird. And then as far as the collection system goes, I just have one cart moving in a straight line underneath that center square, because even no matter where the spider dies, their drops are going to go right to that center square. So let me hop down here and show you. See? So it's just one single cart just going back and forth, and he's picking up all the drops. So yeah, that was actually a pretty simple solution to a problem I wasn't sure how I was going to figure out. Now I did put a on-off switch on each of these, but right now they're all individual. They're not wired up or anything, so I actually have to go and turn each one on. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and then you can see everything in action. Okay, they're all on now. They should all be, yep, you can see some zombies. I don't know if you can see them, it's pretty dark. So here's the spiders. You can see them spawning. Oh, look, there's an invisible one. He just died. See, they spawn, they float right to the center, and they just die. All right, so now let me run up here to where all of these spawners are going to be active, and you can see them all in action. Okay, I'm going to pop into free cam here, and I'm going to turn on hitboxes so you can actually see the mobs and what they're doing. So you see these skeletons, they're going to spawn in here. They're going to get caught in their water elevator, and they're going to go up, come across here, and then go down a straight line to the kill chamber. And the skeletons over here are going to get in their tube, and they're going to drop down, and they're going to join the other skeletons right there. And the zombies are pretty much doing the same thing. They're going to fall down right here in front of where the actual drop is. Sometimes they get stuck, but I guess, you know, eventually another one's going to come along and push them down. But you can see just how many mobs are coming and at what rate they're coming. This is pretty insane. This is nuts. This is 3 spawners feeding into this thing. This is so cool. All right, yep, and then down here in the spawner, I just, boom, and I just hack away. Oh, sounds like we had a chicken. And I actually made this kill chamber too wide. If I pull out again and let you see, so the tube is 1, but then as soon as they land, they can spread out a little bit. And the main reason why I did that is because there's so many different drops. There's armor pieces that don't stack. bows that don't stack, you know, arrows, bones, zombie skin, potatoes, carrots, iron. There's so many things that can drop that one hopper was kind of getting, where I'd make a kill and then half the items would just be sitting there floating, waiting for their chance to get in it. But this gives 2 hoppers for all of the drops to get picked up, and I think that's working out a lot better. So yeah, so this is the Nutso quad spawner here. This is, again, this is insane. I cannot believe that I stumbled on this. This is nuts. As far as the decor, right now it's just a big old carved out space, and these boxes are done in endstone. I might decorate this up a little bit. I might not. Really, it's just going to be me seeing it when I come down here and grind, and most of the time I'm going to be really just standing at that kill chamber AFK anyway, so I probably won't really decorate this up very much, but I am definitely going to have to build an item sorter. Alright, so that is my quad spawner farm. Pretty crazy stuff. Alright, well this should be the last thing I needed for my redstone farm. Let's see, so I got actual bows and strings out of that, so I can get rid of those. And that means no more farms. I can actually go ahead and start crafting these things and stocking up my shop. But I don't have a shop yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to that this episode. This episode is already running really long, and I think the actual shop is going to have to come in the next episode. So be sure you check out my next episode where I'm going to build my actual redstone shop. And let me just do another flyby of this farming area. This is pretty insane, actually. This took, in real time, this took quite a while, although for you it's a single episode. But yeah, this took several weeks of work, and I think this actually turned out really cool. This is pretty crazy stuff out here. I never really thought that my witch farm area would get so packed full of things. One day I'm probably also going to have to rebuild this witch farm in the color palette that I chose for all these other farms. And also this little villager breeder. Yeah, that mangrove wood, spruce wood thing, that's just looking really out of place now. Alright, well I'm going to end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed watching me build all the farms to support a redstone shop. And until next time, you take care of yourself, okay? Bye-bye.